Alrighty, boys and girls, as promised, we are going to take you, we being my wife and I, are going to take you on a tour of some of the hot spots and new additions here in Valencia on Negros, just outside of Dumaguete. And we want you to come along with us. Okay, baby May, I'm ready to rock and roll and show these folks Valencia. Are you ready to go? All right, we're off. All righty, boys and girls. Well, we're on our way. You know, it was going to be 15 days from today. Today is Monday the 1st. That I will have been here in the Philippines for 9 years. And when I moved to Valencia, it was just sort of like a little outskirt town outside of the hubbub and hustle of Dumaguete. When you came up here, it was pretty much defining the word sleepy. And in the last 3 years, it has absolutely, positively exploded. And primarily, it's due to, I believe, not so much the foreigners as the local Filipinos, as the middle class has expanded. And where there's a need, or people will fill the want for that need. And that's exactly what they have done. So, when I first came up here 9 years ago, there was one building that I'm going to talk about a metamorphosis. It was called Naspri, and it was the only foreigner-owned place that was enclosed. And you could pull in and you could have breakfast and grab a really lousy cup of coffee. Well, now you see that it is called Freak Specialty Coffee Roasters, and it's still enclosed. Naspri is gone. The owner there, Belgian gentleman, I believe he took ill, and this is now a specialty coffee shop. They also serve breakfast and other meals here. I have not sampled their cuisine, but I've had their coffee, and it is top notch. This guy actually roasts his own beans. So if you're in the mood for a nice cup of coffee or a latte, he'll make it with cow's milk, goat milk, no milk, this milk. He is a true connoisseur of coffee. All right, enough about that. I'm gonna make a little U-turn, take you for a ride through the neighborhood, and then I'm gonna take you to our favorite breakfast spot. Okay, so here we go. Hey, Toto, what's up? I don't think May got that, but oh, you didn't? Yep. Okay, she said she did. That's Toto. That's our world famous mechanic. He comes up to our house. He's such a cool guy. He will come up to our house, as he has in the past, when the NMAX or Baby May's bike has got a dead battery, and I'll call him on the phone or text him, and he'll just bring a battery up and install it and take the old one, and that's that. And it's like no extra charge. And every time we've had an issue with one of our vehicles, or primarily the bikes, he's the man to go to. And I've referred a few guys to him, and they've been very happy with him. Okay, so coming up here on the left side is a place called the Red Flower Restaurant. And this is by far what I think, it's hard to see inside, but you can already see the parking lot's getting filled up. They have, in my humble opinion, the best American breakfast that you can buy for the money. That would include eggs over medium, which is hard to find out here, potatoes, bacon, pancakes, or toast, whichever you prefer. And May and I can eat here for right around $20. She can get a Filipino type of meal. I can get my American breakfast if that's what I so desire. And so what I would recommend is go to Coffee Freak and get your coffee, bring it over here, and they don't mind, and have that along with your meal if you're a coffee drinker. All right. And now we're gonna go dead ahead here and continue. Watch out, little doggy. All right. So May, you filming in front of us here? Okay, cool. We're gonna stop for 1 second here. And we got music, so hopefully that won't interfere. But this is known as Okai Okai. When I moved here, that was the roughest road you could imagine. It was half dirt, half concrete, half potholes, boulders, you name it. And now it's got what's called Okai Okai. Okai Okai is gently used clothing. May absolutely loves it. We actually came here yesterday on Sunday because on Sunday, this place is booming. Every Sunday, they have a huge thing going on up in the park, and they've got every single stall open out here for the ladies and the guys to buy used clothing. Nothing in May likes better than that little Okai Okai action. These women have got buying cheap clothing down to a science. Uh-oh, looks like May made a score.
Nice, very perfect.
Now we're going to deviate off of course here a little bit, and we're going to head you down the road. These are all brand new places that have just popped up. A couple of them have just shown up in the last 6 months, and they have been wildly popular. I don't know if this is good or bad, but they're both closed today. But at least I can show you the location. Now, it used to be over here, Neva's was the only game in town if you wanted a pizza. I don't know about you, I'm not putting a Debbie Downer on Neva's, but let's just say it doesn't really match my taste. Kind of a ketchup sauce and all that kind of stuff. Other people love it, so who am I? But that's where Neva's is. And then over here to our right is, May, can you get the sign there? It says authentic Greek food. Okay, so it's closed today. Today's Monday, and it is Nick the Greek. He has been open less than 6 months, I want to say, and he's been jam-packed since he opened up. May and I ate there one time, and it was very good. I would say that a lunch for two here would be more in the range of about $25, including beverages. And then next door, you've got Good Glaze. So if you're not watching your waistline, you can go over there and get some fresh donuts. Okay, so we're gonna scoot across the road here, and this one might make you guys a little tense that aren't used to riding motorbikes, but we'll give it a shot. And I'm gonna wait for one guy to go past me here, and then I'm gonna take off. Okay, here we go. Are you rolling, May? Everything good?
Yes.
Okay. She's behind me, so I don't know what the hell she's doing. All right, so we're gonna cut across the road here, and I am going to show you Indy's Pizzeria. And this, again, is open, I would say 6 months maximum. And I happen to be a big fan of the pizza at the Why Not. And they have a certain ham, mushroom pizza at the Why Not. And it runs about, 1,100 pesos. I'll have to figure that out, and then I'll put it on the screen for you in writing how much 1,100 pesos is in USD. However, once that truck passes, a large pizza, same caliber, same quality, is 380 pesos. And I'll put that up on the screen for you also. Okay, one quick thing about Indy's Pizza. It's great for takeout. Dining in, That's a personal choice. It pretty much depends on the weather, because they got wood fire pizzas going in there with real wood, and ovens, I should say, and it gets hot. All right, so continuing down the road. We'll go ahead and shut the camera off for now, and then I'll just take you to our next spot. All right, boys and girls, we're about halfway to our destination. We've been driving about 3 minutes. Right there is Highland Villas, and that's where I first lived when I first moved to Valencia. And that is the first place that little baby May and I, who is now my wife, that's the first place that we cohabitated. I would be remiss if I did not point out the fitness hub. A couple of years ago, that sprang up. And you know, about 5 years ago, I was musing different things, and I thought, man, if I ever started a business out in the Philippines, I think I would make it a fitness center. Because guys love their workouts. And Valencia is in dire need of a place to go and guys to get their workout in. Real quick, this is Spicy Food House, and that is fun at night. They don't open until later. Getting back to my fitness hub, my brilliant idea was taken by a guy with bigger balls than me, and he turned it into a reality. And I think he's just been laughing his way to the bank ever since, because that place is jam-packed. From what I understand, they also have quiet hours. All right, so over here are some local areas for the local people, and I gotta confess, I've never frequented those places. I've heard reviews of them. I was gonna go to a couple places in there I won't mention, but after I read the review, I said the hell with it. Now right here is Hillside. That is owned by my foreigner friend, and that is a place where some of the boys that like to tip a few tend to gather. They like to have their alcoholic beverage every now and then. Nice cold beer, usually starting up around 10 o'clock, and usually winding up around, I don't know, 9:30 at night, something like that. Now coming up on my left is, I'm gonna pull over there, is a place, that red sign that says The Hideout. And this is gonna be a little tricky with vehicles and all, but I think we can scooch over there, okay. And so, we're not gonna go inside or anything, but I did want to show you the Hideout. And the Hideout has got probably the best, there's the owner, hello, the best Philly cheesesteak I've had since I can remember. And they also have a great short stack, or short, what do you call it? Short rack, I'm sorry, of ribs. And Baby May loves those. Again, you can get out of here with a Philly cheesesteak, a rack of ribs, fries, coleslaw, and a cookie for everybody for just a little over 20 bucks. Call it $22. If you include a drink, it might run you 25 with drink, tip, the whole thing. And that would be for delicious Philly cheese, rack of ribs, French fries, coleslaw, I don't know if I mentioned that, and everybody gets a cookie. And who doesn't like a cookie? All right, so that is the Hideout. All righty, boys and girls. Well, we've come back up from the Hideout. It was about 5-6 minutes. There's the Nick the Greek again, just for a point of reference. And now, I didn't want you to have to go up and down the hill, same place, and just watch a bunch of dead air. Talking about dead air, how am I doing? Anyway, who doesn't like Mexican food? I love Mexican food. And we had nothing up here until the next place I show you arrived. And I want to say she's been here maybe 2 years. A little place called Mexicana. And if you're not looking for it, you're going to miss it on this road. This is the Macon-Valencia Highway. I want to just point out to the right here, these are a bunch of little local shops where you can go in and instead of paying $6 for a latte, you can get one for $2 or $1. Just the local blends, just something to draw your attention to. All right, so moving straight ahead here, we're gonna have to go a little bit slow when we get up here because if you go fast, you will miss Mexicana. And you don't want to do that if you're in the mood for a burrito or a great taco. This woman used to have a store down in Dumaguete, and COVID took her out. She had a brick and mortar building there. Her husband is a Mexican guy, and she's, of course, a Filipina. And so right here, even though the sign is kind of funky, right here is Mexicana. And the sign is half baked because it's fallen down. But you see where it's in the curve here in the road. So if you're going at any kind of speed, you'll blast right by this place because there's no real signage other than this. Anyway, another great place, I think, for takeout. Depends on the weather. If it's hot, I take it out, we take it home, where we can cool off and enjoy it. And if it's a nice day, we'll sit in there because super nice staff, super good food, and just a totally good vibe. Kind of the old hole in the wall that's got the greatest food and has the most undistinguished look about it. Sometimes those places are by far the best. So we made a U-turn. There's Mexicana, and we're gonna flip around, and we're gonna take you up to one other new spot that's been another massive hit. And we'll kind of let you get a look at the Plaza area and all the commotion and noise and traffic and fun and frivolity and whatever all the nonsense goes along with a day in the Philippines. And this is a very concentrated area, right, that we're coming up to now. One of the big attractions, 7-Eleven. So there's a lot of kids that go to school out here. They love to go to 7-Eleven and get themselves a Slurpee or an ice cream or whatever the hell kids get, candy bars. Okay, if you're looking for an ATM, we've got those right up here, the BDO network. That is a new addition, if you can believe that. Over here is the world famous 7-Eleven. And then over here to the right is the flip side of the Okai. If you look down that street there, that's the flip side of the Okai. And over here to the right, in a minute I'm gonna pull over and I'm gonna give you a little preview of something that's coming up. Hi, May. So I wanted to make sure I showed you this. This is the Valencia Plaza on a Monday. And we were here yesterday on Sunday. Now, starting about 8 years ago, maybe more like 7 years ago, this place had one, maybe 2 tents, half that size. There's one over there, that would be an example. So call it that one and that one. It didn't have her, but it did have the tents. And there was maybe a dozen dudes like me that would come up here because there was a guy selling sausages and there was another guy selling coffee. And that was that. Well, we came by here yesterday and I thought I would give you just a little idea of what this place on Monday looked like yesterday. So there is just an array of places to go. We got the old Philly cheesesteak and sausages. I've had one of their Philly cheesesteaks. Delish. And we're getting some music over there, so I don't know if this will make it to the video or not. But just to give you an idea of the kind of crowd this brings, This is about 7 o'clock in the morning. And the place, as you can see, is just jam-packed. Now, you ever need a balloon, you know where to go. What do they got here, man? Oh, lechon. The world lives on lechon here. That is the big delicacy. And a little Japanese action. Tortillas. Freshly squeezed citrus. What a dealio. And what would the Philippines be without some good old-fashioned chicken on a stick and unlimited rice? Because May, rice is life.
Yeah, rice is life.
All right, so we're just going to take a little stroll down here and give you the width and the breadth of the vegetable market and all the fresh fruit. Got to get out of the way here. The traffic and navigate all the places selling the fruit and vegetables and damn near anything you can think of. Baby, how are the prices here? Are they higher?
Higher.
Higher? Yeah. That's the thing. Compared to, say, if you go to the public market where the locals shop, this is sort of like a tourist attraction. And so you pay tourist prices. Although, you don't see too many people that look like me here. It's primarily Filipinos and Filipinas. There's a big middle class that's moving into Valencia. All right, coffee weekend. This is my favorite little spot on Sunday to sit down and enjoy a nicely caffeinated beverage. And this place is just surrounded with food stalls, drink stalls, you name it. Breadways. Oh, well, anyway, I am going to take a break and sit down and have a very much deserved cup of coffee. Okay, and we're off to our final destination on the big tour of Valencia. All right, another ATM here for you guys, just in case you need one. Wishing well massage, just in case you need one. Over here is, you can't really see it now, but it's the municipality. Or what I like to refer to as the devil's playground. Try dealing with that bureaucracy. Okay, I'm gonna pull over here. May, zoom in please over there, or at least point the camera at the Sourdough Bake Shop, DNC Sourdough Bake Shop. They are open, are you ready for this? 7 days a week, 365 days a year. They never close. And this place is usually just packed. Depends on the time of day. May and I are daytime people, but my friends that are more night owlish, they come up here 5, 6, 7, 8, and that's when the call centers are letting out and the people are coming in for a snack. May and I have eaten here probably a dozen times. They have baguettes, bagels, etc. And they'll make you anything you want, such as our favorite is chicken with bacon on a baguette with super fresh vegetables. And again, her and I can get out of here with a sandwich each, a drink apiece, and it's under $20. And that is the newest edition that I'm aware of, and is also one of the busiest. So it comes with the old dog endorsement. Well, that's a video, kids. And we want to thank you for coming along on our journey, and we will see you in the next video.